This is the new Vauxhall Corsa. Well, facelift anyway. And until recently, it was the cheapest full electric vehicle you could buy in the UK. So expectations, which we always go off, are set. You know what, I'm going to say it right now. I like this because it's not pretentious. It does what it says on the tin, and for the price that you can get it for, because we ignore list prices typically, you know what, I won't say it's a bargain, but it's a very good option. In terms of looks, I would say that this is a definite improvement over the pre-facelift. In fact, the bonnet crease, the visor around the front, it makes it a little bit more upmarket. The pre-facelift version is starting to date a little bit. In fact, it dated quite early on. It will definitely suit the 20-year-old hooning around town centres on a Friday, Saturday night playing loud music, which I believe, Harry, doesn't happen any longer. That's what we used to spend our money on. Now, the youth of today go to the gym or something like, I don't know. I would say that this is, again, a definite improvement over the pre-facelift, and in this colour, it's quite smart actually. It's not the best looking super mini on the market, but it is all right. And I have to give, again, full props to Vauxhall for giving us the super mini in full electric form. The Stellantis group essentially, because Ford aren't, Volkswagen aren't, well, most other manufacturers aren't giving us a super mini. So yes, that's what we want. Rather than big SUVs, more of this. The side, well, pretty much as you were before. You got some creases to break it up, but effectively it's a Corsa from the side. And again, it's not too bad. The charging port on the left rear, 100 kilowatt charging. For me, again, I would prefer 150, but it's okay for these battery sizes. And we'll come back to the two battery sizes later on. Another thing which I do like about the super minis that we're getting now, that things like the Mini and even the Fiat 500 didn't do, this gives us the range, or at least a much better usable range than before. So again, we're getting there. It's just, well, like anything, it takes time. The back, again, very Vauxhall-like. You got the black Vauxhall logo, the Corsa writing, again in black. They like this black sort of new trim stuff. I don't mind, I quite like the angular approach that they're doing. And the boot, which you open by pressing that there, that's bigger than I thought it would be. And quite frankly, not that much smaller than the Astra, which is about a foot longer and about, well, several centimetres wider. So this seems better packaged. You got the spoiler, which needs to be about a foot longer, Harry, I think for when you're 20-year-old, 21, you come out about here.
What size of an ironing board?
Yeah, but ultimately though, what will the youth of today do without an exhaust? How are they going to make this modified and louder? Can anybody tell me? Nice to shut that crap August weather out. Now, the Corsa interior, I do quite like the steering wheel. You got the pretty decent screen there for your sat-nav and other such things, which I'll show you in a second. And you've got an actual separate screen here for your speedo and all the usual sort of stuff. So let me turn the car on, as you'd expect, as previously as well. It's quite nice to read, it's easy to see. This is kind of the same really. Not the best infotainment system, but come on there, we're getting there, there we go. And you can use wireless CarPlay and Android Auto on all of the versions of the new Corsa, so that's a good upgrade. The door, very much like the Astra, you've got a bit of Alcantara there. This is the Ultimate Edition, remember, and that little bit of trim, that's hard wearing, and again, more hard wearing stuff. It's put together quite well. That material, Harry, that's not too bad.
It's all right.
Hardish, but it's acceptable.
Textured.
Yeah, got a bit of breaking up the trim there, which is quite nice. You've got the buttons for your climate control and things like that, which is, again, nice and welcome. It's not all done by touchscreen, wireless charging there. And look, you can turn things off with more buttons.
Wow.
This is a crumb catcher, we always say that. It's not the best thing in the world when it comes to, I prefer a gear lever. And of course, yeah, the black gloss.
I'd look at getting that covered straight away.
Change that for something like this material and it will change the interior. And we've got the cup holders, which, if I just grab that a second. Drive mode, we have, of course, Sport, Normal and Eco, and that actually changes the performance on this particular version anyway between it. So you have different BHP levels. You've got a bit of storage here as well for your audio equipment and your batteries and things like that. Not that deep, you can't quite fit every phone in there, but it's, again, it's better than nothing. The Astra had a full width glove box.
I've got high hopes.
I've got high hopes too.
No.
Oh, what have they done that for?
I don't know.
Half a glove box. Now, it's a little bit dark. There's no sunroof or
there's
anything.
not, no.
But you know what? It's super mini. I'm not expecting a panoramic roof on this one. Seats on this Ultimate version.
Comfy.
They are comfy, yeah.
Yeah.
Can't argue with that one.
Nice.
And to be honest, there's not a car that doesn't have comfortable seats these days, really, so that's not too bad.
I'll tell you one thing I've found that I do like. Listen to this.
It's a bit Van-esque,
Yeah.
but you know what?
You don't hear that when
no,
you're
no.
driving. You can put your phone there and it doesn't get lost. You know your phone's
Yeah,
there.
you don't forget it,
Yeah,
so
there's
it's
some little
buried.
grommets there to hold it in place.
And it doesn't fly out when you
Exactly.
accelerate either. Right, now, it's clearly not going to be carrying full adults on a long journey, would that
But-
be fair?
4 guys going to McDonald's on a Friday night.
Well, yeah, actually, you don't seem to have too bad space.
No,
in
to be
front of
honest with you, that's not bad. I can sit quite comfortably here.
It's a perfectly usable boot size
is, yeah.
with a perfectly usable rear.
Yeah.
So far,
Impressive. I think,
yeah, for what I expected, absolutely.
definitely.
Let's start that then.
Okay.
2 different battery sizes, a 50 kilowatt hour,
Yeah.
and a bigger battery version, which is
It's going to be a 75.
a
It's
50
not, is it?
50
No.
51 kilowatt hour.
Okay.
Now that sounds a bit, what's the point? But it's not so much the battery size, it's a more efficient battery pack.
It's
so
like
therefore-
one's Gen 1,
yeah,
one's Gen 2.
But effectively it's more efficient, you get about 15 to 20 miles more
And you get
on
more
the big
power?
well, it comes with a more powerful motor.
Motor, yeah.
Whether or not they have to go together or it's a choice, I don't know. Now here's the complicated part. So the cheapest version,
Yeah.
you cannot get in the bigger or newer battery size.
Okay.
Nor can you get that on the design. It's
Right,
4
so the
trim
first
levels.
2.
No. On the top 2 trim levels,
Yep.
the GS
GS.
and the
Yep.
Ultimate, you've got a choice of the original or the newer battery.
Why?
I don't know. And different performance, so maybe it is linked.
Okay.
So the trim level doesn't necessarily tell you what battery size you've got.
Which means that when they come to second-hand value, you may get some
It
real
could be,
bargains.
possibly, yeah, there's going to be confusion, put it that way. So the cheapest, bigger battery version,
Yeah.
or bigger range version, I'll say, is the GS.
Right.
Optioned with that bigger battery
It would
version.
make sense in my mind to have the GS and the Ultimate available only
With the
in-
bigger batteries and
Yeah.
the cheaper, yeah. For some reason, they're giving people choice. I don't know why, but fair enough. Now, what price difference do you think that difference in battery architecture, whatever you want to call it, makes? So I'm talking actual price now, not list.
So how much extra would you pay? I'm going to say it's going to be
Another 15, 20 miles.
an extra £2 grand maybe for that.
It's about, well, it varies because we're talking about obtainable price, not list.
Yeah.
It's about 5 or 6 grand extra. If you shop around, and this is something that took me 2 minutes on Auto Trader, I managed to find the Yes version, which you can only buy online.
Yeah.
Apart from this is from a dealer, so I'm guessing it's a cancelled order. Just under £21,000.
That's a bargain, isn't it? Yeah.
I'm quite liking that
Yeah.
because, yes, I know it's expensive, but in the electric car world,
It's not, is it?
for the space you get in the boot, the space you get in the rear, and essentially the interior, it fits.
Yeah, it
It
does, yeah.
absolutely suits that price level.
It does, completely. We say this time and time again, don't we? With a lot of cars we test, go for the cheaper one.
The value is in the cheaper version.
Yeah,
The more you spend on a Corsa, the less
Yeah,
value it
it's
is.
never going to be a luxury car. I'd say one disappointing thing though is that the best toy, you
Heated
have to get
seats.
on the Ultimate, don't
Yeah,
you?
the heated seats only seems to come with the Ultimate version, and the cheapest Ultimate version was, well, you're like 33, 34 grand.
It's a lot of money in it.
It's a lot for a Corsa. So we'll say 185 miles all year round average for the lower battery, 210-ish, 205-ish
so.
for the bigger battery version. And again, for the price,
Yeah, you can't.
I'm actually quite liking that.
Definitely.
I mean,
It does make it a lot more interesting, doesn't it, at that price?
yes, and considering things that are out there for that sort of price bracket, let's do a bit of what would you
Yeah.
rather. So again, not list, usable price, because the entry level Corsa is 26.5 list, just so
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know. Citroen EC4, would you go for that over this?
But you know what? I do really like this.
I do.
The younger me would have gone for this.
Yep,
But me being 44 now is going for the Citroen because it's a more comfortable ride. It's
Yeah.
bigger.
Yeah. And it's that comfort, isn't it? 20.5 grand, so it's about the same price as Corsa. This or the E208, which is a fraction more expensive at the entry level, but near as damn it the same.
It's a tough one, that.
That looks better
It
than
does.
this.
It does. But I do like this car in this colour.
And yeah,
Or in this shade. It's not really colour, is it?
you know, one of those cars that sometimes you get and I won't say you don't bother about, but you're less bothered about. So we've got the Seat Me electric.
Yeah.
the Up and the Citigo basically clone. And I just use that, take it, stick it in a car park, wherever. I just use it as a car. There's no emotion involved. That's what this is for me.
Yeah.
It's just a car that you jump in, a car that you...
Take to the shops, park it anywhere. Don't really matter.
And I quite like that from... Sometimes having a car that you've got an emotional attachment to means you worry about it too much.
You do, yeah. You park a million miles away from the door of the supermarket.
I mean, young me, I'd kill myself with this.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, this is the more powerful Corsa. The entry level would be, I think, 130 odd brake horsepower. The instant torque you get, of course,
look at that,
makes all EVs feel quicker. Right,
wow.
So that's 60.
And the brakes
are all right.
I mean, it does feel like almost 6.5 seconds, that, doesn't it?
It's actually 8.2.
I would say that's...
From standstill. Like I say, it bleeds the
I think
power
that's a
in.
bit conservative, is that?
Yeah, I think it is a bit. 8.9 for the lower power performance.
I'm saying that feels... We went a slight downhill there, that felt 6.5.
No one's buying a Corsa and expecting performance, so
No.
that doesn't bother me in the slightest.
It's
more than adequate is fine.
Yeah,
So I find myself in a car that, if you shop around, good value, good range for what you've paid. Certainly when you think about what you got 5-10 years ago. An acceptable interior for the price, acceptable rear space, acceptable boot. In fact, better than acceptable boot. When something gets cheap enough,
it becomes...
I don't care about its flaws.
Yeah. Well, you can live with it for that price, though, can't you?
Yeah, but this is, there's no compromise. It's one of those where you think, I can't really find anything wrong with it.
I have to apologise for that.
Let's check the
windows
electric
open.
windows that you get on this particular version.
Yeah.
That gets rid of wafts and farts quite well. Is this a German holiday? Because I don't think I'd buy one, because I'm not a big Vauxhall Corsa fan. But if I did get one, I wouldn't be disappointed. In the same way that every time I've gone to Germany, I've liked it, I've loved it even. But if someone said, "Oh, you're going back there?" Not really.
I don't know. It's not on my list.
I'll go to that crap hotel on a beach in the Mediterranean somewhere instead.
Yeah, it's just missing the handbrake. Proper manual handbrake.
Oh, you've just found its Achilles heel, its flaw.
No kid's going to want that,
It's got an electronic handbrakes. How do you
attract the opposite sex? Of the same sex, I don't know what kids do nowadays. How do you attract anybody without a handbrake? How do you make a big entrance?
I actually did that, when I met my wife.
I bet you did.
I was at university, I had a metro, handbrake turn, didn't realise, because I was too young and naive and stupid at driving, that when you've got 5 people in a metro, it doesn't spin. All I did is end up turning over onto a pavement and nearly hit a wall. But it worked.
It worked, yeah.
The handbrake worked.
Soft at the knees.
It bleeds it in, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That's why it's at 8.2 instead of a bit quicker.
That's up to 50. Adequate.
The trouble is, I think we've been spoiled with every electric vehicle, like the Megane E-Tech, 200 brake horsepower, MG4, 200 brake horsepower. Our first hot hatch was the Peugeot 306 GTI 6, 167.
Mine was on a beef for Cooper, a 16 valve, and that was 150. And that felt fast.
Yeah. I mean, granted, they had a weight advantage, but even then, the instant torque it gives you as well means that this is too quick. I don't want my daughter getting this.
No, it's
I quite like the lower power version being around.
Exactly.
We would have killed ourselves in
I think we would have done, definitely.
As a first car, it's just...
It would have been in the wall by Wednesday, wouldn't it? He had this on a Friday. By Wednesday next week, it's going to be written off.
Yeah.
Do you think they'll do that thing where they used to put the McDonald's trays under the back wheels and drift?
Can you do that in this?
I wonder if
you
it
haven't got the handbrake, have you? This disengages when you set off.
Well, do you know what? I'm not buying it for that.
No. The ruined cars with safety features.
They've made them just far too sensible.
This equals almost any EV out there, apart from your real big luxury stuff. The Astra was very quiet. This is almost the same, isn't it?
Yeah.
Just its size.
It's almost witchcraft, isn't it?
On a higher speed run is about the only time you would notice some noise.
Beans and toast, we'll go for that,
The Vauxhall beans on toast.
Yeah, it's just simple, isn't it? It's simple, and you go, that was really nice.
I enjoyed that, yeah. Sometimes you think, that was lovely.
Don't cost a lot, did the job.
So if I give you a decent budget, how would you mod this then? How would youth Harry mod this?
Right, it's going to only be lowered so much that you can't go over speed bumps.
Yep.
Wheels so big that they rub the arches.
Yeah.
And tyres so thin that if you even graze a curb, it peels them off.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, massive stereo, so big that you can't fit anything in the boot.
Massive subwoofer in
Yeah,
that boot.
definitely.
Yeah. And amps. Oh, power cap. Was it?
Massive power cap. I don't know what they did, but you got one.
You got one.
It had a number on it.
LEDs.
You definitely want some lights under the car.
Oh, bonnet vents.
Bonnet vents. No, a Subaru vent.
Scoop.
Yeah, a scoop.
Ooh,
A scoop
that's a
vent.
good idea.
Definitely.
See what I mean?
It's quick. That's
thing is-
dangerously quick.
This car is making you do that because you think, oh, I'm having a bit of fun. I mean, it's
You know what?
chuckable.
You can throw it around, and the nice thing is you can, because it's not stupidly quick.
No.
You can have funds within the realm of the law.
And you're using the whole performance.
You are.
A lot of cars are so fast that if you use the whole performance, it's dangerous. It's the MX-5 argument, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Which is why people enjoy them so much. But I find it very placeable.
Yeah. I like the
I
seat.
know where I'm putting it.
Yeah. And, with it being a bit smaller, you have a bit more confidence. The seating position's great. I can see really well out the window.
Yeah, it's only, like I said, this is
Just
quite
these.
wide, but that's only when you kind of, from some junctions.
I tell you what, the mirrors are amazing.
Yeah, they're fine. Prominent boot?
You get.
You'd have to buy one that you'd have to check, but
yeah.
it would fit some.
Yeah.
So we saying this car is, if you take emotion out of it, I don't believe I'm saying this about Vauxhall Corsa, flawless.
I'm saying it's getting
Find
there,
a flaw in this for what you can buy it for.
isn't it? So I'm going to be really, really, really picky.
Okay.
And just say this
gloss.
black gloss, which I'm sure someone is bound to make a carbon fibre thing.
Or you just wrap it in something. You can Halfords that.
Yeah, you can help.
You can Halfords
yourself.
that.
And everything else, I actually like. Oh look, it's even taken us to a curry house.
Curry house, that's perfect. Is there anything it can't do? To coin a phrase from our youth again, flawless victory.
It's I think
Finish him.
exactly. I think it's definitely.
It surprised me.
Yeah. It'll be on my, at this price, it's on my
You'd at least
top 2 or 3.
Yeah. It is a very good value proposition.
It is. Yeah.
And value is, let's face it, probably the first metric that the vast majority of
with
people
everything,
use.
yeah.
Whatever car you're buying, it's not just a case of can I afford it, am I getting what I expect
And
out
you're
of it?
getting a bit more with this.
I think so. Right, well, I think
I think that's it.
there is only one other thing that probably does trump it, though, I think, in terms of its value and flawlessness.
I think there's one thing that definitely does.
Yeah, and that is, of course, the membership for 99p a month of the channel, or just subscribe, which is free.
You can subscribe, yeah, that's free.
Can you believe that? It's free. This channel is free.
It's amazing. Isn't it?
Don't charge anything for what you just watched. Can you believe that?
You couldn't.
No. So anyway, thank you for watching, guys, and yeah, we'll end it on that.
See you soon.
I like it.
Yeah, I do, yeah,
So
definitely.
yeah, cheers, bye.
Bye.
Let's go have a curry.
I think definitely.
Let's go
yeah,
and get a
careful.